Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Line Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'll be fighting a 2,000-point battle between my Genestealer Cult, as you can tell by the fact that they aren't on the table, and Daniel's Tau. So the story that we've got going on here is that this planet had been in negotiations with the Tau to join the greater good, and all seemed well. The governor had agreed. The planet seemed to be welcoming their new Xenos masters as to join in on the greater good and become part of the Tau Empire. And as the Tau arrived to continue that process, they suddenly found themselves facing a Genestealer Cult uprising on the planet, perhaps planned. Maybe the governor was actually part of the cult, infected somehow, a fourth generation of the Genestealer Cult. We'll never know, because now they suddenly found themselves facing off against a full-fledged uprising and had to fight back to try to claim this planet again for the greater good, hopefully before the Tyranids arrive to eat everything on the surface. So that's the story that we've got going on. We are going to be playing a mission called Narrowing the Search. It's an Eternal War mission from the Chapter Approved 2018 book. Essentially what happens is there's one objective in the middle of the battlefield. No invul saves can be taken within 12 inches of that center of the battlefield. And scoring occurs at the end of each battle round, starting with the first run. Units within a certain distance of the center of the battlefield, if you control the objective by having units within that certain distance of that center piece, you score a point. So if you have units within 12 inches of this, at the end of the first turn, it's 18 inches, and it reduces by 3 inches each additional turn after that. So first turn is 18 inches, 15 inches for the second turn, 12 inches for the third turn, etc., down to a minimum of 3 inches. So that is the story. That is the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Genestealer Cult, I'll be running 2 battalion detachments and a spearhead detachment. Leading off the first battalion detachment, we have a Patriarch, a Magus, and a Primus. We have 2 5-man Acolyte squads and 1 12-man Acolyte squads with hand flamers. We have a Nexus, a Kellamorph, a Clamavus, and a Sanctus with sniper rifle. Then for the second battalion detachment, we have a Patriarch and an Abominant. We have 2 10-man Neophyte squads, 1 squad with 2 mining lasers, and 1 squad with a grenade launcher, and a 10-man Broodbrother squad with 2 flamers and a Voxcaster. We have 2 Aberrant squads, 1 7-man with hammers, and a Hypermorph with a improvised heavy weapon, and a 7-man with picks. Then for the spearhead, leading it off, we have a Magus. We have a Colt Leman Russ with 3 heavy bolters and a battle cannon. And last but not least, we have 2 Goliath Rock Grinders with clearance incinerators and cache of demo charges. And for the Tau, he'll be running a brigade detachment. Leading it off here, we have Shadow Sun, a Fireblade, and an Ethereal on a hover drone. We have 6 5-man strike teams with the Shazwi upgrade with a marker light. We have 3 6-man shield drone squads. We have a 6-man Pathfinder squad. We have a 3-man broadside squad with heavy rail rifles, seeker missiles, and smart missile systems. We have 2 3-man sniper drone squads. We have a fire site marksman. And last but not least, we have 3 Riptide battlesuits with 2 with heavy burst cannon and smart missile systems, and 1 with ion accelerator and fusion blasters. All right, so going over deployment now. Genestealer Cult are all in ambush or underground. I have actually got out on an ambush underneath these markers. I have the 2 rock grinders. Inside each of those rock grinders is a 5-man squad of acolytes. I've got my Leman Russ. I have a Patriarch. I have the 2 Aberrant squads. I have the Broodbrother squad, the Nexus, and the Sanctus are all inside of these, are all underneath these markers somewhere. That's what we've got on the table. The rest are all underground. So there's 11 units that are technically on the table in ambush, and there are 9 units that are, or 10 units that are in deep strike, or underground, which is deep strike reserve essentially. But going over deployment here for the Tau, we've got 2 of the strike teams up front here. We've got a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6 strike team, so all forming the little cordon around here. We've got a squad of drones back over here. We've got broadsides. We've got the Pathfinders in the middle there. We've got Shadow Sun. We've got the Ethereal, and we've got, I believe, the Shahs. I can't see where the Fireblade is. He's somewhere over around here. We've got the, where is he? Oh, is he over on this side? Oh, he's over on this side. There we go. Then we've got the Firesight Marksman up on top here. We've got the 3 Riptides around here. The broadsides, I told you about them. We've also got the other drones here, and we have the sniper drones are all tucked in all over here, making a nice, happy little castle of Tau that I'm going to have to try to crack somehow. So we'll see how this goes. That's the deployment for the Tau. You've got the deployment here. All right, now the Tau are going to be going first, unless I want to seize, but I don't. So I'm going to let him go first. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tau here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Tau here on turn 1. Strike squad moved up over this way. These 2 strike squads moved up here, and this one moved up here. A couple of the drones moved around here to shuffle and fill in gaps in their little safety cordon that they've got going on over here. And then and everything else just stood still. He declared Kayun with Shadow Sun, or without, whatever it is. Kayun was declared. He'll be able to declare it twice because of Shadow Sun, but Kayun's been declared, which means that any unit that did not move that's within 6 inches of Shadow Sun during this turn gets to re-roll failed hits in the shooting phase. So everything else stood still, so they'll all get the benefit of Kayun over here. He also declared with the Ethereal, what's the power? What's it? Sensor Stone. No.
A sense of stone.
A sense of stone. A sense of stone, which gives them all a 6-up feel no pain. He also gave Nova Reactor on the 3 Riptides to boost up the shooting of their guns. He rolled the feel no pain on both of these ones, failed it on this one, so this one's down a wound. These 2 are fine because of that sense of stone, which is pretty cool. For him, not for me. So that is the movement phase for the Tau. So we will come back to you when I reveal all of my blips. All right, so in the middle of revealing my models here, I'm going to reveal my Sanctus, and when I do, I'm going to use a perfect ambush stratagem on him. The benefit with him is that when you use that, it costs 0 command points to use that stratagem. My opponent has the relic that allows him to roll to get back CP, or get CP when his opponent uses a stratagem. It specifically states uses a stratagem because the Nexos that I've placed over here says that you have to spend CP when you spend CP on a stratagem. So technically, because he's done this, I haven't spent any CP, therefore I don't get to roll for the Nexos, but my opponent does because it just says that. So we'll see if you get CP. What is it on a 6? No, it does not get a CP, but it does allow me to shoot as though it's the shooting phase. So he is going to fire into the Firesight Marksman over there with his sniper rifle. So he's going to roll, hitting on a 2. That is a hit. Strength, toughness 3, so wounding on a 3. That's a wound. AP -1. No cover allowed. So it's going to be a 4-up regular save, which becomes a 5-up save. So a 5-up save. No, does not make it. So this is going to be D3 wounds. 2 wounds. All right, so that's it for revealing. So I have my Nexus back here with a Brood Brothers squad with him. I've got my Lehman Russ tank here. The Sanctus is up inside the building there. I also put my 2, used the Nexus' ability to move one of my markers from here back over here, and I put my 2 rock grinders back here so that his two Riptides can't actually see these guys, which was important for me to survive. One of them can, but the other 2 can't, which is about as good as I was going to get. So, and then I spent 1 CP on They Came From Underground to remove 3 more blip markers, and I placed my 2 Aberrants and the Patriarch into Underground. So they are now Underground as opposed to in ambush and coming out this turn. So that is it for my opponent's movement phase. So we will now come back to you. You don't have any Psychers because you guys are Tau, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so at the beginning of the shooting phase, my opponent spent command and control node on Shadow Sun, which means that she can't shoot this turn, but she allows, it was going to the broadsides, he said, right? Gave to the broadsides the ability to re-roll wound rolls for this turn. So that's just something that happened at the beginning of the movement, the turn there. Neither of us got back the CP. So right now, my opponent is at 14 CP. I'm at 9 CP because I spent 1 CP to make the battalion with the Abominant and the Aberrants into Anointed Throng. I spent 1 CP to give the Abominant the Warlord trait from that. I also spent another CP for Brood Coven to give my a Primus and a Magus also a Warlord trait, that because my Patriarch has to be my Warlord. And then I also spent a CP to give an extra relic. So I gave my Primus the Sword of the Void Worm, and I gave the Void's Eye, and then I gave the Abominant the Amulet of the Void Worm to cancel out charges. So I was down to from 14 down to 10, and then I spent the 1 on putting those other units they lie beneath, so moving back up there. So that's where we're at in the CP. Just wanted to give a heads up on everything that's going on. All sorts of crazy shenanigans, tons of fun. So we're going to start off with his Pathfinder squad firing into my dude bro over here. 3 of them can see around the corner over here, but the others can't. So we're going to have 3 shots here. It's going to be hitting on 4s. Re-rolling, though, because of Cayune. Getting 2 marker lights. All right, now his Firesight Marksman is going to try to shoot his marker light into my Lehman Russ over here. So hitting on a 3. That is a hit. All right, so moving on to the broadsides here. 2 of them have line of sight onto my Rock Grinder back over here. So they are going to fire, the 2 that can see are going to shoot their Seeker missiles. They're also going to shoot their rail rifles. One of the guys you can see has range on him with the smart missile systems, which I don't think need line of sight, but it's still the only guy that has range on him out of the 3. He's going to shoot the smart missile systems into him. The other guy who can't see him is going to fire his rail rifles into my Lehman Russ, but he's not going to fire the Seeker missile because he only has the 1 marker light on him. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So what do you want to do? Which one do you want to try first? We're going to try over here into him. So we're going to do the 2. Which one's first? The 2 rail rifles. The 2 sets of rail rifles. So it's going to be 4 shots. These are going to be hitting on. What are they going to be hitting on? Because it's hitting on 4s, re-rolling because of Cayune. All right, re-rolling because of Cayune. Okay, into all hits, pretty good there. So that's going to be 4 hits. These are strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound, toughness 7. With a reroll because of the command and control node. All right, so that is going to be 4 wounds. AP minus 4, so those are going to go straight through. What's the damage on those? D6 damage each. So here we go. All right, so we've got...
I'm going to spend my Pure Tide roll.
I'm going to do the Pure Tide roll here, so reroll that. It's into a 5, so that's going to be 15. We'll come back to that. All right, so we've got 15 rugged construction saves. If I can get 8 of these, or if I can get 6 of these, then he will still be alive. So let's see what happens. Looking for 6s. Show me those fill faces. No, I got 3 of them. So he is definitely dead. Does he explode? He does not. All right, so 2 guys died in the explosion of them getting out of the wreck. Twisted ankles as they got out. So 3 guys are there, and the other one's dead, and that is first strike. And then the other 2 rail rifles are going to fire into my Lehman Russ over here. So it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 4s, re-rolling because of Cayune. All right, so it's going to be 1 hit, strength 8, so looking for a 4 to wound. No wound, but re-rolling because of the other thing, into a wound. AP minus 4 is going to go straight through, so D6 damage, 2 damage. So the 3 sniper drones that are back over there are going to fire into my Sanctus over here. So they're going to have 3 shots hitting on 3s because they get +1 to hit because of the spotter, because of the fire site.
Drone controller.
And the drone controller, so it's usually hitting on 5s. +1 because of drone controller on the Riptide. +1 because of the Firesight Marksman who can see him. As long as he's within view of the Firesight Marksman, they get +1 hit. So it's going to be 3 shots hitting on 3s. That is all hits. These are going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. These are going to be AP nothing. Sanctus gets +2 to cover saves when he's in cover as opposed to 1. So now looking for 3 up saves. Making 1 of them. What's the AP on this? Or what's the damage on this? Just 1. So he just takes 1 wound. And then the other 3-man squad of sniper drones are going to fire into my Sanctus over here. So 3 more shots hitting on 3s. Re-rolling because of Cayenne. Getting 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. That's going to be 2 wounds with a mortal wound. So it's going to be 2 3-up saves. Making them both. Woo! All right, so now the Riptide in the back there is going to fire into my Leman Russ over here. So he's going to use, which one's the first one you're going to do?
I have the Nova range.
So Nova profile for the ion accelerator. So
overcharge it.
and he's going to overcharge it. So this is going to be how many shots?
6 shots.
6 shots hitting on 4s. Re-rolling because of Cayenne. All right, re-rolling because of Cayenne. All right, so it's going to be 2 misses, but no, not getting hurt because none of those were 1s. So that's 4 shots. These are strength 9, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 3 wounds, AP -3. So we got 3 6-up saves. Show me them Phil first. Making 1 of them, so 2 of them go through. What's the damage?
3 flats. So
3 flats, so 6 damage onto him. All right, the front guy there is going to fire his smart missiles into my dude bros over here. So these are, they don't need line of sight, which is why he can shoot them. So they're going to be hitting on 4s, re-rolling because of Cayenne. Re-rolling because of Cayenne. Woo, good thing. All right, that one's cocked. Rolled up. Well, I was going to say, yeah, there we go. There we go. So that's going to be 4 hits. These are strength 5, so 3s to wound. All righty, 1 wound. AP -1. Because of that one's because of the what is it called? The advanced targeting system. Because of that, it's AP -1. Just before you start yelling at us that we got it wrong. So looking for a 6-up save. Showing that Phil first. No, 1 dead. All right, so 3 of these guys can draw a line of sight to my Liam and Russ over here. So it's going to be 3 shots, right? Hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s because of the marker light, but there was no 1 there. Strength 5, so looking for 5s. So that's 1 wound. AP, nothing. So looking for a 3-up save. He's good, but I fell first. 4 of the front guys here can see my Lehman Russ over here, so they're going to shoot. So they're going to have 4 shots, hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s because of the thing. So that's going to be 2 hits. Strength, looking for 5s to wound. Getting 1 wound. AP nothing, so looking for a 3-up save. No, takes a wound. Squad in the back there. 3 of them can see my Lehman Russ, so they're going to fire into him. And then the other 2 that can't see are going to fire into these guys. So we'll do the 3 into the Lehman Russ first, hitting on 4s. Not rerolling 2s, so it's 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. That's a wound. 3-up save. He's good with the Phil first. And then 2 shots into my dude bros over there. Getting 1 hit. Looking for strength, what is it?
Strength 5.
Strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. That's a wound. AP nothing, so looking for a 5-up save. Nope. And now into my Lehman Russ. From this squad here, 3 guys are in range. So hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. That's 2 wounds. 2 hits. Looking for 5s to wound. No wounds. All right, so that is the end of the Tau turn. I've got 1 leadership test take over here. He lost 4 guys. 4 plus 6. He is going to run. So that is it for the Tau turn here on turn 1. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. He advanced up this way, so behind the building here, so no one can actually see him over there. My Sanctus stood still, as did my Lehman Russ, as did my Brood Brothers, and as did my Nexus. So everyone stayed still, except for him who advanced. And essentially what I did was I spent 1 CP at the beginning of the turn for Devoted Crew, which allows this Genestealer Cult vehicle to act at the top profile for the rest of the turn. And then I spent a 1 CP on for hypermetabolism on my Sanctus to gain back D3 wounds, to heal back D3 wounds. He healed back up to full, which is pretty cool. So that is going to be it for the movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. All my Psychers are underground, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so we're going to start the shooting phase with my Sanctus firing into his far sight marksman over there. So it's going to be 1 shot, hitting on a 2. That is a hit, wounding on a 3. That is a wound. AP -1, ignoring cover, so looking for a 5-up. And he gets it. All right, so my Lehman Russ now is going to fire into his sniper drones there with everything, because I need them dead. So we're going to start with the battle cannon shots here. So it's going to be 2d6 shots because of grinding advance. So that's going to be 7 shots. It's not bad. I will take that. So we've got looking for 7. They're -1 to hit at outside of 12 inches. So it's going to be 7 shots hitting on 5s. Okay, that was pretty good. It's pretty good. So this is going to be wounding on 2s. All right, so it's going to be 4 wounds at AP minus 1 second. All right, so it's -2, so we've got 4 6-up saves. He will be getting a feel no pain because of sense of stone. All right, so makes 1 of them, so 3 of them go through. So the first one is D3 wounds. We've got 2 wounds, 2. Nope, that's a dead guy. Second one, 3 wounds, dead. And the third one is 2 wounds, dead. And that is first strike. And that is it for the Genestealer Cult turn here on turn 1. So we both scored first strike, and my opponent has these guys has this entire squad over here, plus 4 guys between those 2 squads within 18 inches of the objective over here. I just have like my Leman Russ, I think. So he has objective secured, so he will get the 1 point at the end of turn 1 for holding this objective. So we will come back to you now after movement phase for the Tau on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Tau, forcing them to actually move, which they're not fans of. All of the strike teams have started moving up towards the objective over here. So maybe it's not so much me, maybe it's more that the juicy objectives back over here. Then his Riptide jumped up over this way. This Riptide jumped from the back up to the front there. A bunch of the drones moved around with themselves. Strike teams back over here moved up. So did Shadow Sun and the Ethereal, and the other Riptide shuffled a bit, but the broadsides, they stood still, as did the Farsight Marksman. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so my opponent has spent 1 CP on command and control node on Shadow Sun, so she can't fire, but and got back the CP. I didn't get the CP, so we're at 14 and 7, and he's going to give it to the broadsides. Now the Fire Warrior, no, Pathfinders. Pathfinders are going to fire into my Leman Russ over here. Only one of them is in range, so hitting on a 5. Oh, 5 because they moved, so that did not hit. All right, Farsight Marksman into my Leman Russ over here. That does hit. All right, so now the broadsides are going to fire all their smart missile systems into my Rock Grinder over here because they don't need line of sight. They're going to fire all of their rail rifles into my Leman Russ. So we'll do the 6 shots with the rail rifles into the Leman Russ first. These are going to be, they didn't move, so they're going to hit it on 4s. Rerolling 1s because of the marker light. So reroll those 3 1s because of the marker light.
Nice.
So getting 3 hits, strength 9. Is it? Oh, strength 8. So looking for 4s to wound. Rerolling because of the command and control node. So that's going to be 3 wounds, AP minus 4, right? So let's all go through. These are D6 wounds apiece. All right, so he is dead. Does he explode? He does not. All right, so now the smart missile systems are going to fire into my Rock Grinder over here. So we're going to have, how many shots is it? 2, or how many shots per model? 8 shots per. So it's going to be 24 shots that are going to be coming in from these 3 here. These are going to be hitting on 4s. All right, we'll come back to you with that. And then these are going to be wounding on 5s with a reroll because of command and control mode. All right, we'll come back to you with the reroll. All right, only getting 5 wounds the first time, but rerolling because of command and control mode. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, so 4-up save because they ignore cover. Not that great, actually really bad. So I make 2 of them, and then I've got their 1 damage apiece, 6-up rugged construction saves. And I ignore 1 more, so I take a total of 5 damage. All right, so now the Riptide is going to fire everything into my dude bro over here. He did Nova Charge, all of them Nova Charge, and none of them got their Feel No Pains, so they all took a wound there. So he's going to fire with his with the burst cannon first, or the heavy burst cannon first. So it's going to be 18 shots because of it being Nova shot here. So he's going to be hitting on 5s because he moved, right? Or 5s because he moved. We'll come back to that. All right, these are strength 6, so looking for 5s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP minus 2 because of the advanced targeting system. So these are going to be looking for 6-up saves. Showing them Phil Faces. Nope, failed them. It's going to be 2 damage apiece, right? So it's going to be a total of 4 damage. Looking for rugged construction, ignoring wounds. Nope, don't ignore any of them. It's down to 1. Another smart missile's firing in here, hitting on 5s because he moved. Oh, really well that time. Pretty good. So that's going to be 4 hits there. These are going to be wounding on 5s. Getting 1 wound. AP 1, ignoring cover. So looking for a 5-up save. No, because it ignored cover. This is going to be 6-up, feel no pain. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it with the fill face. Yeah, with the fill face. Woo! All right, so now this Riptide is going to use his smart missile systems into my rock grinder over here. So he did move again, so he's going to be hitting on 5s. All right, getting 4 hits there. These are going to be looking for 5s again to wound. Getting 1 wound. Oh man, back with this drama again. So AP -1, ignoring cover. So looking for a 5-up save. Come on, come on. No, again with the 4. I need a 6-up save. Show me that fill face one more time. Come on, you can do it. No, the opposite of it. No, it's not worth it. Oh, is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. Not on a 6-up. All right, so he is dead. Does he explode? No. Okay, at least he didn't explode. All right, and those 5 guys jumped into cover over there. Or 4 guys. One of them died, twisted an ankle as he got out of the rock grinder. All right, so this strike squad here is going to fire into my squad over there, looking through the window. So these are going to be 5 shots, hitting on 4s, right? Woo, doing real good. 4 hits. 5 hits, sorry. These are going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Alrighty, getting 3 wounds. AP nothing. So this is going to be 4-up saves because they're in cover there. And I make 2 of them. All right, so then the guy in the back there is going to fire his 60-inch range gun into my neophytes over here. So it's going to be he's supercharged, so it's going to be, he has target lock, so he's going to be hitting on 4s, ignoring the movement penalty there. So that is going to be 3 hits here, which is exactly statistical. So that's going to be strength 8, so wounding on 2s for sure. That is 3 wounds, AP -3, so they are 3 guys just dead. All right, so this strikes team here is going to fire into these guys. They can see them through the window over there. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. All right, so it's going to be 3 hits. Wounding on strength 5, right? So 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound. Looking for a 4-up save because they're in cover. And they're good. All right, so that is it for the Tau turn here on turn 2. These guys over here don't have to take a leadership test because they lost 2 guys, but they've got leadership 8 with the leader. These guys back here lost 3, and they can roll. So on a 6, 1 guy will run away, but a 3 will keep them around. So that is going to be it for the Tau turn here. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 2. My Sanctus stood still. These guys moved up right behind the wall over there. My dude bros back here stood still, so did my Nexus, and then Cult ambush occurred. So these guys dropped in 9 inches from them. These guys, I spent 2 CP, got 1 back for Meticulous Uprising, or whatever it was. The one that allows them within just outside of 3 inches of these guys over here. These are my guys with the hand flamers. Patriarch dropped in over here. Magus dropped in over there. My Kellermarf spent 3 CP to move him so he's closer, so that now he's within 12 inches of Shadow Sun. And then I'm going to come over around this side because I got to show all of this stuff over here. So we got 2 squads of Aberrants, the Abominant, my Magos, my Clamavis, my other Patriarch, and a squad of Neophytes all dropped, and the Primus all dropped in over here 9 inches from all of these guys over here. So that is the movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. So we'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so we're going to start off with my Patriarch casting Mental Onslaught onto his Riptide over here. So looking for a 6 to go off. Does not go off. I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll that. Does not go off. All right, my Magos over here is going to cast my Mass Hypnosis onto this dude bro back over here. That goes off. And this Magos here is going to try to mind control this Riptide over here. So that's going to go off with a 9. So now I roll 3d6. have to get higher than his leadership. Is he with, what's his leadership? 1 second. All right, so leadership 8, because he's just outside of range of his ethereal over there. So this is going to be looking for an 8 on 3d6. And that is way in control. All right, so he is going to fire the smart missile systems at his drones over here, and I'm going to fire the heavy burst cannon into his riptide. So we're going to do the smart missile systems first. So these are going to be 8 shots hitting on 4s. All right, pretty good. It's getting 5 hits. These are going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 5 wounds at AP minus nothing, right? So 4 up saves. Oh, AP minus 1 because of advanced targeting system. So these are going to be looking for 4 up saves. Oh, because they got invul saves. And then 5 up, feel no pains. So 2 of them dead. All right, so now 18 shots because he's Nova charged with the burst cannon into him over there. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Come back to you. 4 hits! So 4 hits. These are strength 6, so 5s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. So save your protocols, right? So on 2 ups, they will go off onto drones. They go off onto drones here. So 2 feel no pains. It takes 2 of them are dead, right? Just 1? 1 drone dead. And then my Patriarch here is going to cast Smite onto these guys here. That goes off, so D3 mortal wounds, 2 mortal wounds. All right, moving into the shooting phase. This squad here is going to shoot 6 hand flamers into this squad, 6 hand flamers into this squad. So we'll do it into this squad first. Getting 10, 14, 15, 20 hits. All right, so 20 hits, strength 3, toughness 3, right? So looking for 4s to wound. Come back to that. All right, so 1 guy's in cover, so we're gonna do 4 at a time for the ones that aren't in there. So I've got a total of 9 wounds. So we're gonna do 4, these are gonna be, they have 4 up armor saves. So 4 up armor saves. All right, so 2 of them are dead. And then we're gonna have 2 at a time now. These are gonna be, again, 4 ups. Those 2 are good. And those 2 are good. 1 more, he's good. And then the other 6 into the other squad there. Getting 11, 15, 21, 23 hits. All right, so 23 hits, looking for 4s to wound. Come back to you with that. Once again, 9 wounds here. These are going to be looking for 3 up saves because all of them are in cover. So they are, 1 guy dies. My Sanctus is going to fire into his Firesight marksman over there, hitting on a 2. Whoop, that dropped out of my hand. That's a hit with a fill face, wounding on a 3. That is a wound. AP minus 1, so 5 up save. No, goes through, so he's only got the 1 wound left, so he will be dead. All right, so now this squad's going to fire the 2 mining lasers into his Riptide over here, and the las guns are going to go into his dude bros over there. So we're going to go with the las cannons first. It's going to be 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 5s because they moved since they came in from Deep Strike. They're getting no hits. And then 9 shots with the las guns into those guys, hitting on 4s. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. That's going to be 1, 2 wounds. 3 ups. Good. All right, the Neophyte squad in there is going to fire into the Strike squad up here. So we've got 5 guys in rapid fire range, 3 that aren't, 1 that can't see, and 1's got a grenade launcher. So here come the las gun shots. Hitting on 4s, yep. And wounding on 4s. That is going to be 2 wounds into this squad here. So we got 2 4-ups. 1 dead, 1 saved. And then the grenade launcher, gonna do a frag shot. Gonna get 2 shots. Getting 2 hits. Getting 2 wounds. Makes 1, fails. All right, so now my Killer Morph is gonna fire into Shadow Sun back over there. So we're gonna have 6 shots hitting on 2s. All right, that's gonna be 6 hits. So 6 more shots with the Killer Morph. Hitting on 2s. That is 1 miss, so it's 11 hits. These are strength 4, toughness 4, right, on her? So looking for 4s to wound. Getting 1, let's see, get these out of there. So getting 6 wounds. So you're gonna, what's up? 1 second, let me check. All right, so she's going to look out, greater good, or savior protocol onto 3 drones that are within range there. So we're going to do 3 at a time here, 2 pluses. All right, so that's going to be 3 that go through. AP -1, so it doesn't matter. They have a 4-up invul save, so 4-up invul saves. Just to feel. So these are 2 damage apiece.
Just turns it into 1 mortal wound.
Oh, it just turns it into 1 mortal wound. I'm sorry, I misnoticed. So it says 1 mortal wound, and he makes all of them. So now 2 pluses again. 2 pluses again.
Yep, I'll use those dice.
Okay, 1's going to go through onto her, and then 2 are going to be feel no pains. And he makes none of those. All right, so now she has a 3-up armor save, which becomes a 4-up because of AP -1 on the weapon. So 4-up save. All right, so she takes 2 damage, and she has 6-up feel no pain because of the ethereal. No, so she takes 2 damage. All right, so my Magus here is going to shoot into the squad over here. So to hit, nope, no hit. All right, so now we are moving into the assault phase. We're going to start with my Abominant here. He's going to charge into his into the Riptide, into the this dude bro, and into the strike squad over here. So he's going to roll now. He's got +1 to the charge because of the Abominant taking the Warlord trait from the Anointed Throng. +1 to the charge because of being within 6 inches of the Clamavus, and +1 to his charge because of them being 4 Armed Emperor. So looking for a 6-inch charge to get in. He is not in. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that, and he is in. All right, so now my Hammer Aberrants are going to charge into his dude bro over here. He's engaged, so he can't fire Overwatch. Are you going to try to assist in his attacks? No. Into this guy over here. So I don't know who you're going to assist. Just this guy over here. Yeah, they're not engaged. So we'll come back to that. All right, so they're going to fire Overwatch into them over here. 3 of them are within 15 range, so in rapid fire range, because of the Cadre Fire or the Cadre Fireblade, right? Because of him, they get to fire 3 shots in this rapid fire, so it's going to be 11 shots, hitting on 5s because they're Tau. Getting 3 hits, strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound, AP nothing, so looking for a 5-up save. Nope, but then monstrous monstrous vigor, or not a monstrous vigor, just 5-up feel no pain. Nope, so 1 takes 1 wound. And then the Hammer Bros are going to charge in. They're going to be in. All right, so they're going to charge into the drones here, and the Riptide, and the Greater Good is going to allow the Sniper drones and the Pathfinders to fire Overwatch into them. So we're going to do the Sniper drones first, or the Pathfinders first? Pathfinders first. They're going to use their carbines, so not the marker lights. These are going to be hitting on 5s. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So these are going to be strength 5, so 3s to wound. Getting 3 wounds. AP nothing. So these are going to be looking for 5-up saves. Making none of those. 5-up, ignoring wounds. Ignoring all of them. I'll take that. And now the Sniper drones are going to be firing here. So 6 shots because of rapid fire. Hitting on 5s. Ooh, pretty good. These are going to be strength 5, right? So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds, but one of them is going to be also a mortal on top of that. So it's going to be 2 5-up saves. Nope, fail both of those. So it's going to be 3 5-up ignoring wounds. Ignored 1 of them, so 1 of them will be dead. And they are going to need a 7-inch charge to get into contact with those drones there. And they are in. All right, so now my Hammer Bros here are going to attack into his Riptide. They're going to start us off in the fight phase. So we've got 6 guys that are within range there to attack. This guy stayed back, so they're within 9 inches of my Primus. So they're going to get +1 to hit. So they're going to be hitting on 3s because it's -1 for unwieldy, +1 for the Primus. So we've got 12 attacks with the guys with the hammers. These are going to be hitting on 3s. All right, so these 4 6s count as 2 hits. So we've got these 3 will be plus additional 1. So we got 13 hits on these 12 hit attacks. These are going to be strength 10, wounding on 3s. Alrighty. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wounds at AP -3. He's out of range of any of the drones right now, so it's going to be 8 wounds at -3. So we're looking for what? 5 up saves, because he got 5 up invul save. Making 3 of them, so that means that 5 of them go through. That is 15 wounds onto him, so he is dead. Do they explode? Oh, they've got 15 feel no pains. We'll come back to that. All right, so here come his 15 feel no pains, looking for 6 ups because of the, so he makes 4, 5 of them. So that's going to be 10 wounds, so he's down to 2 wounds. And now the hypermorph is going to attack in with his 6 attacks. He gets 2 attacks per attack. He's got 3 base, so these are going to be 6 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 2s because he gets the +1 and it's not unwieldy. Alrighty, so no 6s, so it's just going to be 5 hits. These are strength times 2 as well, so wounding on 3s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds at AP -1. You have a 2-up armor save? 2-up armor save? Oh. And now the hypermorph tail is going to attack in. So that's a hit.
Oh, wow.
That is not a wound. All right, so now my Abominate is going to put 2 attacks into the Riptide, 1 attack into his Contra Fireblade. So we're going to have 2 attacks into the Riptide. These are going to be hitting on 4s because it's unwieldy. Getting no hits. And then the 1 attack into the Contra Fireblade. That is a hit, wounding on a 2. That is a wound. AP -3. Goes through, so D6 wounds. 5 wounds. He is dead. And that is Slay the Warlord. All right, now this squad's going to attack. The 4 guys are going to go into the drones. 2 guys are going to go into the Riptide. So we're going to go into the drones first. So we've got 2 attacks each for those 4 guys. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. These are now going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. All right, so that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. These are 4-up invul saves they have, so it's going to be 4-up saves, so 5 4-ups. Failing 3 of them, those are D3 damage apiece, so they've got feel no pains as well, right? So we'll do the first one. It's going to be 3 wounds. Nope, that's a dead drone. And then the next one, it's going to be 1 wound. That's a dead one. And the third one is going to be 2 wounds. That is another dead wound. And now the Rending Claw attacks are going to go in there. So 8 attacks. These are going to be hitting again on 3s. All right. Not as good that time. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. All right, so it's going to be 3 wounds. That would technically be more AP, but he's got 4-up invul save and armor save, so it's going to be 3 4-ups. Making 2 of them. 1 of them now is just 1 damage. No, so it's another dead drone. And now the Rending Claw attacks into his Riptide over here. So we got 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. These are going to be wounding on strength 5, so 5s to wound. That's going to be 1 at AP -4. So damage 1. Are you going to try to look it off, or are you going to take it? Damage 1. He's going to take it on the Riptide, so 5-up invul save. Nope, so he takes 1 damage. 6-up feel no pain from the Ethereal. He's good. And then 4 attacks from the Pix. So that is going to be, wow, not great. 1 hit. That is a wound, AP -2, D3 damage. He's going to try to pass off onto a drone.
That is in combat with him?
That isn't in combat? Is in combat, all right. So that's going to be, does get passed off. 1 mortal wound. And he feels it. By feel it, I meant he didn't feel it, is what I meant to say. And then this strike squad's going to attack into my Aberrants over here. So 3 guys get there. 3 hitting on 5s, so that's 1 hit. 3 strength 3, T4, so 5s to wound. That is a wound. 5-up save. They're good. Riptide's now going to attack into my Aberrants over here. So at the lowest profile, what does he have? 1 attack, and that fails the hit. All right, so now the 2 shield drones into my Aberrants over here. That is 2 hits. Strength 3, so 5s to wound. Getting 1 wound. And he's good with a fill first. And 4 attacks from the Riptide into here. That is going to be 1 hit. 6, so looking for a 3 to wound. No wound. All right, so that's the end of the turn here. We've got some leadership tests. These guys lost 4 guys, so 4 plus 1 is 5. They're good to go. These guys lost 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. They're good to go as well. These drones back here lost 4, so 4 plus, what is their leadership?
9 because of the ethereal.
9 because of the ethereal. They're good to go. And then this drone lost 5 of his dude bros. Plus 4 is 9, good to go. All right, so that's it for the Genestealer Cult turn here in the bottom of turn 2. I have more units within 15 inches of the center here, so I score 1 point from that. So that brings me up to 3 points, 3 for me because I got Warlord, first strike, and 1 point for turn 2. My opponent has first strike and 1 point for turn 1. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tau here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Tau. At the beginning of the turn, my opponent used automated repair systems. He used it 4 times because we looked at it, and the restriction on using a stratagem more than once is only per phase. So anything that's out of phase, such as the end of the turn, the beginning of the turn, whatever, you can use as many times as you want. So we used it 4 times. I ended up getting 1 CP, and he got 1 back, so it took him 7 CP, and he healed this guy back up to 10. He Nova charged each and every one of them. They all took their wounds. He declared Kayun once again, and he moved this guy up over here out of combat from there. He moved this guy out of combat over there. All the drones moved up. These guys advanced. Those drones just moved. Strike teams are making their way back over to the bridge, and the other Riptide and the Dude Bros, the broadsides stayed still, as well as all the people around Shadow Sun over there. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you now with the shooting phase. All right, so my opponent at the beginning of the shooting phase spent 1 CP for command and control node on Shadow Sun. So now the Pathfinders here are going to fire their marker lights into my aberrants. So we've got, how many left? Is it 6? So we've got 6 hitting on, they did or did not move? Did not move. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Re-rolling because of Kayun. Don't need to because they are at 5. All right, so his Riptide here is going to shoot into my aberrants over there. So he's going to be hitting on 3s because of the 5 marker lights that are there. So he gets +1 to hit here. So we're going to do, which one are we going to do first? The heavy burst is going to happen first. So everything's shooting into them though, right? Everything's shitting into them. So that's going to be, the heavy burst is going to come first. These are going to be 18 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s, re-rolling because of Kayun. And re-rolling. All right, so 2 misses. So that's going to be 16 hits. These are strength 6, right? So these are going to be strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, so 9 saves here. These are AP -1. Oh, AP -2. So those are just going to go straight through because they would have a 5-up save. So now they become a 4-up, become a whatever. Just they go straight through. So it's going to be 9. It's damage 2, which gets reduced down to damage 1 because of being aberrants. So these are going to be 5-up ignoring wounds. Ignore 2 of them. So that means 7 damage. That means that 1's going to wound, kill that guy, and then 3 additional guys are going to die. And now the smart missile systems are going to be coming in here. These are going to be hitting on 3s again because of the marker lights. Re-rolling because of Kayun. All right, 1 miss. These are strength 5, so wounding on 3s. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are going to be 7 AP -1, so 7 6-up saves to begin with. Fill faces, making 2 of those, and then we've got 5-up ignoring wounds. Don't ignore any of those. So that's another 2 guys that are dead and 1 takes a wound. All right, so now the broadsides are going to fire into my aberrants over here. So they're going to fire their rail rifles and their broadsides. So we're going to have 2, 4, 6 shots with the rail rifles. So these are going to be hitting on 4s because they didn't move, but re-rolling because of Kayun. All right, so it's going to be 5 hits. These are strength 8. So these are going to be wounding on 2s. So getting re-rolling because of the command and control node. So that's going to be 4 wounds. What's the damage on the, or AP? AP -4, right? AP -4, so it's going to go through all of their armor, and it's D6 wounds apiece. So we have to do it 1 at a time. So the first one, it's going to be 4 wounds. So 4, 5 up. Reduced by 1, so it goes to 3. Thank you very much. So that's going to go to 3. That becomes 5 up ignoring wounds. Nope, don't ignore that. So that's 1 guy dead. The second one is going to be 5, which becomes 4. Makes 1, but that's still a second guy dead. Third one is going to be 2, which becomes 1. But that is going to be 1 wound onto him. And then the last one is going to be 5. So becomes 4. No, so that is going to be 3 dead guys. And now we have the smart missile system shooting into them. These are going to be hitting on 4s. We'll come back to you with that. And here come the re-rolling because of Kayun. Come back. And these are going to be 3s to wound. All right, we'll come back to you. Re-rolling wounds because of command and control. So that is going to be 1 that doesn't wound. So we'll come back to you with the saves. All right, so it's going to be 15 wounds. These are going to be done 2 at a time, though, because I've got 1 guy off of there. So it's going to be AP nothing. So looking for 5 ups. Make 1, fail 1. 5 up, feel no pain. Nope, so he takes 1 wound. Then we have to do 1 at a time. He's good. He's good. He's hurt. Does he take feel no pain? Nope, he feels that pain. So we now have the rest of these are going to be +1. So these are going to be 4 up saves. Making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 4, 5 up, ignoring wounds. And I ignored 1 of them. 1 guy is left. And now this squad of 4 is going to fire into my aberrant over here. So it's going to be 8 shots because they're rapid fire range. Hitting on 4s. Kayun, did they move? They didn't move, right? Did they move? They didn't move. So Kayun reroll. Okay, getting 2 more hits there. These are strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 4 wounds. These are going to be AP nothing, so looking for 4 up saves. Make 3 of them, and then I've got 1 5 up, ignoring wounds. No, so he's dead. All right, so this Riptide here is going to fire everything into my aberrants over here. So we're going to start with the ion accelerator. These are going to be hitting on 4s.
Not overcharging.
Not overcharging, so hitting on hitting on 5s because he moved. So that's going to be 2 hits or 3 hits. Doesn't make a difference because he did move.
3s because he...
Oh, 3s because of the +1 because of this, and he has target lock. So there's going to be 4 hits. These are going to be strength. What? Strength
at 8.
Strength 8, so 2's the wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP -3. So those are going to go straight through on the armor. What's the damage on those? D3. So we do it 1 at a time here. First one is going to be 3. That becomes becomes 2. So 5 up, ignoring wounds. Good with that one. The second one is 1. Nope. So that's going to kill that guy. And then we've got 1 onto the next one. Nope, takes 1 wound. And then the last one. And that's going to be 2. That goes down to 1. And no, so he is dead. All right, so now his Riptide here is going to put everything into my acolytes over here. So we're going to go with 18 shots from the heavy burst cannon, hitting on 5s because he moved. Come back to that. And then these are strength 6, so 2's to wound. That is going to be 5 wounds at AP -2, right? So that's just going to kill 5 guys. Well, we got excited and rolled for the smart missiles, so that's going to be 4 hits there. Not the 4, right? Are they heavy? Yeah, so that's going to be the 4 hits. Strength, looking for those 3 we're going to wound. Strength 5, so those 3 are wounds. AP -1, so these are going to be looking for 6 up saves. Making 2 of them. All right, so now this strike squad is going to fire into my acolytes over here. So we got 10 shots, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. So that is 5 wounds. So we're going to have 5 AP nothing, right? So 5 up saves. Make 2 of them, so 3 dead. And now these 2 guys and this guy are all going to fire into this squad over here. So we'll do them all together, hitting on 5s or 4s. But that is 1 wound. And that is not a save. All right, so the other strike squad here is going to fire into my Keller Morph. So he's going to have 10 shots that are going to come in here. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Re-rolling, though, because of Kayun, since they did not move. All right, so these are now going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. All right, so that is how many wounds? 4 wounds here. So we've got AP nothing, right? So AP nothing, so these are going to be 4 up saves because he's in cover there. Making 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, the Riptide here is going to charge into my acolytes over here. So I'm going to spend, I'm going to just fire with the hand flare on the one guy that's in range there. So D6 hits, getting 1 hit, looking for a 6 to wound. No wound there, so his charge distance is in. This guy's now going to charge into them. They're engaged, he's in. And now the 2-man squad's going to charge in, and he's in. All right, we forgot that this the Riptide here actually fell back. It allows him to shoot that he can fly, but he can't then charge. So we're going to have, he is now going to, we're going to do Overwatch here since he could. So we're going to go into the 1-man squad first. That was the first one he charged with. So D6 hits. It's going to be 3 hits. Strength 3, looking for 4s to wound. There's going to be 2 wounds. AP nothing, but they were in cover, so it's going to be 2 3-ups. He's good. So the other guys will not have gotten Overwatch because they would have been fine. All right, so at the end of the charge phase, I heroically intervened over here with my Abominate. So now we are going to start off with his charges. So I'm not going to interrupt, so we're just going to do all of his attacks here at the same time. So it's 2 attacks for each of the guys with the red heads, and then 1 attack from the other guy there. So these are going to be 5 attacks, hitting on 5s. Wow, okay, getting 4 hits. Tau in close combat, huh? Strength 3, so that's 2 wounds. 2 5-up saves. Making 1. 1 is dead. All right, so now his guys are going to go attack into me, so they're going to have 6 attacks here, hitting on 5s. So that's going to be 2 hits. These are wounding on 5s. Strength 3, right? Yeah, so no wounds. And then I've got 3 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 2. That is a dead guy. All right, so that's the end of the turn here. My guy over here is within 6 inches of the Patriarch, so he auto-passes morale. And he doesn't have to take a morale test with only 1 guy missing over here. He's good to go. So that is going to be it for the Tau turn. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. All right, so I spent 1 CP for cult reinforcements for these guys, got back 2 guys. They then moved over this way in the movement phase. They stood still. These guys moved up over here. He stood still. My Sanctus. My Primarch moved up over here. This Primarch advanced over this way. These guys advanced up here, rolled a 1 for their advance, moved up there. These guys all just moved up over this way. And my Kellamorph moved back a little bit, but he stayed within 12 inches of Shadow Sun. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. And he stood still, and the squad inside of here stayed still. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will now come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so we're going to start off the psychic phase with my my Patriarch here, doing mental onslaught onto his Riptide over there. So looking for a 6. It goes off with a 9. So he is out of 6 inches of the ethereal, right? That was the one that gave him 9 leadership. So my leadership is 10 plus 1 for the Clamavus, plus 1 because I gave the Warlord trait to my Magus here. That gives him all units within 6 inches plus 1 leadership. So he's at leadership 12 to leadership 8. So we will roll off now for mortal wounds. If I roll higher than my opponent, he takes a mortal wound. So the first one, with a 6, my opponent cannot beat it. So that's 1 mortal wound. With a 4 plus 12 is 16, my opponent cannot beat that. So that's another mortal wound. With a 5, my opponent can't beat it. Another mortal wound. With a 4, another mortal wound, because that becomes 16, and my opponent has an 8, can't roll an 8. With a 2, I have a 14. My opponent can roll a 6 to tie it. And he does. So he is going to be tied in there. So he takes, he's down to 5 mortal wounds. All right, my Magus here is going to cast Mass Hypnosis onto his Riptide over here. 5 will not go off. My Magus here is going to try to mind control his Riptide over here. And it does go off, but I do perils. I'll take D3 mortal wounds. I'll take 3 mortal wounds, but he still goes off here. So we're going to have 3D6 looking to get above, and he does. All right, so I'm going to put the smart missile systems into the missile drones over here, and then I'm going to put the heavy burst cannon into him over here. So we're going to have 16 shots into him over here. Yeah, because he Nova charged, right? So it's going to be 16 shots. 18 shots, my bad. 18 shots into him over there. So that's going to be, we've got 12, 18 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on, he stood still, so he's going to be hitting on 4s, right? So hitting on 4s. All right, we'll come back to that. And then wounding on 5s. Getting 1, 2, 3. AP minus 2, right? So these are going to be 3 AP minus 2, so 3 4-ups. Makes 1, fails 1 of them, so he takes 2 damage. And then 8 shots with the smart missile systems into his drones over here. Okay, these are going to be hitting on 4s, so getting 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. Whoa, fell off the table there. That is going to be 3 wounds, 3 4-ups. Makes all of them. And he is going to smite into his Riptide over there. So looking for a 5. Goes off with a 10, so D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. I'm actually going to spend my last CP on that into 2 mortal wounds. All right, so the Killer Morph is going to start us off in the shooting phase by shooting into Shadow Sun over here. So going to have, what's that? 100 hits, so he's going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty, so that is going to be 4 hits, which means I get 4 more shots. Getting another 3 hits, so this is going to be a total of 7 hits. Strength 4, toughness 3, oh, toughness 4, so looking for 4s to wound. Alrighty, so that's going to be 3 wounds. So are going to pass off onto drones over here. So there's 1 drone in range over here, so we're going to do 1 at a time here. 2 up. That's good, so then they feel no pain. Nope, so that drone is dead. And then we've got 2 more at AP minus 1, so 4 up saves. And he makes both of them. The squad over here is going to put 1 hand flamer into this squad, 2 hand flamers into that squad. So we'll do the 1 hand flamer first. Getting 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 3 wounds. And he's good. And then the 2 into the 2-man squad. It's going to get 4 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. 1 is dead. And now my Sanctus is going to fire into Shadow Sun over here. 1 shot, hitting on a 3 because she's 1 harder to hit. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. No wound. Primus is going to shoot into the red-headed guy over there. That is a hit. That is a wound. That is a save. The 2 mining lasers here are going to fire into his Riptide over here, and the las guns are going to fire into the front guy over here. So we're going to do into the Riptide first, hitting on 4s. God, not getting any hits.
Flashlights.
Auto guns into him over here. Alrighty. And then these are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds onto him. And he's good. All right, so now my Brood Brothers squad is going to fire into the front guy over here. We got 4 guys with las guns. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. That is 1 wound. 1 save. He's good. 2 auto pistols here into that squad. That is 1 hit. That is 1 wound. That's 1 dead guy. And 1 pistol from here into them. That's not a hit. All right, that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, my Primus is going to charge into these 4 guys over here. So he is going to add in the greater good for these 2 guys. So they're going to fire, all of them are going to fire into my Primus over here. So here it comes, hitting on 5s.
This is just the 4 guys first.
Oh, this is the 4 guys first, hitting on 5s.
I showed you that.
Real good. And these are going to be wounding strength 5, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. We've got 5 up saves. I make 3 of them. I'm going to try to unquestioning loyalty onto my dude bros over here. So 3 ups for them, or 4 ups for that. No, so he takes 2 wounds. All right, now the other 2 guys are going to fire into him with the greater good. So these are going to be hitting again on 5s. 1 hit. 1 wound. No save, then 4 up unquestioning loyalty. And he's good with that one. So one of these guys bites it. So now he needs a 7-inch charge to get in. And he's in. And now these 3 guys are going to charge into these 2 guys. And they are in. All right, so now my Patriarch over here is going to charge into his Dubro over here. So we're going to have, he's going to Overwatch here. He's going to get to re-roll this Overwatch because of, what's it called? Counterfire defense systems. So he's got that. So it's going to be, these are the burst cannon first. So hitting on 5s. I will come back to that. Those are all the hits. So now we go into his other ones. Oh, getting a couple more there. So these are going to be strength 6. So looking for, 1 second. Looking for 3s to wound. I'll come back to that. All right, so we've got 5 up invul save. He had 9 wounds on him over there. So 5 up invul save. Because AP -2. Nope, I only make 3 of them, so he is dead. All right, so now this patriarch is going to charge into his Riptide over here. So we'll come back to you with that. All right, so he's going to draw in the Pathfinders, the 2 strike squads, and he's going to draw in the Shadow Sun. So we're going to go with the Pathfinders first. They're going to fire marker lights here.
Get one.
Getting 1 is all he mattered because he gets to re-roll 1s now against this. So now we're going to have, which one's next? So now we're just do his.
2 strike teams.
Do the 2 strike teams here. So they're going to fire into him. We'll come back to that. All right, so now we're going to have the strike team firing into him over here. So he's going to be 18 shots because 8 of them are in rapid fire range. Re-rolling 1s. Alrighty. So getting, what is that? 6 hits there. So these are strength 5, so looking for 4s to wound. Getting 3 wounds. AP, nothing, right? So 3 4-up saves. Making 1 of them, takes 2 wounds. All right, so now Shadow Sun is going to fire with her 2 fusion blasters. Re-rolling 1s. Getting 1 hit. Strength 8, so 3s to wound. No wound. He's going to spend a command point to re-roll that. No wound. And now the Riptide is going to fire. So we have the fusion blasters first. That is re-rolling 1s. No hits there. And he is going to supercharge with the other one. So that is re-rolling 1s. So just the 1 hit. Strength 9, so 3s to wound. That's a wound. AP -3, so 5 up invul save. No, goes through. What's the 3 damage? So he takes 3 damage. All right, so now he is 5 inches away, or needs a 5-inch charge to get in, +1 because of the Clamavus there. So I'm looking for a 4 on this charge roll, and he's in. All right, so we're going to start off with my patriarch here attacking into his dude bro here. I have my attacks. I've got the warlord trait that gives him +1 attack, +1 strength. So he's going to have 7 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 2s. That is all hits. Strength 7 now because of that warlord trait, which makes him wounding on 4s. Re-rolling because of monstrous rending claws. All right, so that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of which are AP -6. So we have 4 that are AP -3. So, what's up? Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, so he's going to look him out onto the drones over here. So looks out all of those. Feel no pains. Feels all of those dead. And then the other 2 looking out. Looks both of them out. Feel no pains. No, he feels both of those. Now my Primus is going to attack into these guys. He's got the Sword of the Void Eye or something like that. The Sword of the Void, yeah, Void Worm or something. So he's got 4 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 2s. All right, so that's all hits. Strength +2, so wounding on 2s. That's going to be all wounds. AP -3, so this is just going to go straight through. That's 4 dead guys. So now we're going to go over here. We're going to have 1 guy into this guy, and the leader's going to split his attack. So he's going to put 2 over here, 1 over here. So we're going to have 4 attacks into here with the rending claws, and we're going to have 2 attacks with the from him and 1 attack from him, so 3 attacks into him. And then we're going to have the cultist knives are going to put these 2 into him, and then the 1 guy into here. So we're going to go with the we'll go with the 4 attacks into this guy with the rending claws. That is going to be 2 hits, +1 too because of the Primus over there. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 4 wounds at AP -1, so 4 5-ups. He is dead. And then 2 +1 from the leader. That is going to be 1 hit. On a 6, that's AP -4. He is dead. And now my Abominant is going to attack over here. He's got 3 attacks hitting on 4s because he's outside of range of the Primus there. That is going to be 2 hits. That is 2 dead guys. All right, so now the Riptide is going to attack back into my Patriarch over here. So 4 attacks. That is 1 hit.
Strength 6.
Strength 6, so looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. 4 up, AP -1. AP -1, so it's going to be a 5-up save. Whoop. No, failed that one. Am I out of command points now? Yeah, I'm out of command points. So he is dead, and that is Slay the Warlord. And now these two Fire Warriors are going to attack back into my Abominant over here. So 3 attacks, getting no hits. All right, so that is the end of the Genestealer Cult turn there. A little rough, but we'll see how this keeps going. So at the end of the turn, I score another point, bringing me up to 4 points. My opponent is still at 2 points. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Tau here on turn 4. This is turn 4 now. All right, movement phase for the Tau here on turn 4. Riptide stood still, so did the broadside, so did his not far, what are they called? What are these guys with the marker lights? Pathfinders over here stood still. These drones moved up over this way, so did Shadow Sun, as did the 2 strike squads. This 2-man strike squad fell out of combat over here. The drones advanced up over this way. Ethereal advanced up over this way. He stood still, and he moved up over there. Yeah, I said he stood still. So then, at the beginning of the turn, he had spent 2 CP to heal him back. He healed him back 1, and then Nova charged him and him and him. I did get back 1 CP, so I'm at 1 CP right now. And that is going to be it. So each of these guys took a mortal wound from supercharging, or Nova charging. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so now I just said this, Pathfinders are going to fire. 4 of them are closer to the Abominant than they are to my Acolytes who are just inside the wall there. 2 of them are going to fire into my Neophytes over here. So we're going to go into the Abominant first, 1 at a time though, because he wants to see if he gets Marker Light. Nope, no hit there. No hit. Oh, is it a 4? On a 4, that's a hit. So now these other ones get to reroll 1s to hit. Just 1 more, so that's 2 hits. All right, so my opponent's now going to spend 1 CP to give additional D3 Marker Lights. So we're going to see if he gets a CP back. He does, and then he's going to D3, another 3. So now my opponent's going to use his Riptide to shoot into my Acolytes inside the building over here. So we're going to go with, which one's what first?
Ion Accelerator.
Ion Accelerator first. So these are going to be hitting on 5s because he moved.
4s.
Oh, 4s because he has the target lock. All right, so it's going to be 4 hits. Strength 9, strength 8, so 2s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP -3, +1 because they're in cover. That's still going to go straight through. And then the Fusion Blast is going to fire. Getting 2 hits.
Strength 8.
And as 2 wounds, he did. All right, so now the broadsides are going to fire. They're going to fire all the rail rifles into my Abominant, and then they're going to fire 1 guy's going to fire his smart missiles into my Magus. 2 guys are going to fire the smart missiles into the Kellermorph. So which one do you want? What do you want to start with first? We're going to do the rail rifles first. So there's going to be 6 shots, hitting on 3s because it's +1 because of the rerolling 1s. All right, so that's going to be 4 hits. These are now going to be strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP -4, so that's going to go straight through his armor. What's the damage on those? D6. So we'll do it one at a time. Actually, you can just do them all at the same time. So we're going to have 11. So it's going to be 17 -4, so 13 wounds. All right, so it's going to be 13 wounds. Looking for his vigor here. Ignoring 1, 2, 3, 4.
But that means
ignoring 6 of them, which still means that he is dead. Now we're going to do 8 into my Magus up over here. All right, rerolling nothing. And these are now strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 4 wounds. AP.
No AP, but ignore cover.
No AP, but ignoring cover. So we got 4 5-up saves. Making 3 of them. Still enough to kill him. And now 8 shots into the Kellermorph over here. 16 shots into the Kellermorph. My bad. I'll come back to you. Looking for 3s to wound. Getting 3 wounds. AP, nothing, right? But ignores cover, so it's going to be, what was it? 3? Was it 3? 3 5-ups. Doesn't make any. So now he's spent 1 command point previously to have him operate at top profile. So he's going to fire his heavy burst cannon into my Neophytes over here and the smart missiles into my Acolytes over here. So we're going to smart missiles first. These are going to be hitting on 4s. 5s, because, oh no, he didn't move. These are going to be wounding on 3s. So it's going to be 5 wounds.
AP1, ignore cover.
AP -1, ignoring cover, so 6 up saves. Nope, they did. And now the 18 shots into my neophytes over here. All right, we'll come back to that. Strength 6, so wounding on 2s. All right, so that's going to be 3 6 wounds at AP -2. +1 because they're in cover. So we said 6, right? So 6. AP -2, +1 because they're in cover, so 6 ups. Not making any. And now this Riptide is going to fire into my neophytes over here. So everything's going to fire. So we're going to go with the smart missiles first. Alrighty. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. Getting all but 1 wound. So that's going to be 6 wounds there. AP minus nothing?
AP1.
AP -1. So he's going to be 6 AP -1, so 6 6-ups. Making 1 of them. And now the heavy burst cannon. Come back to that. Now wounding on 2s. So that is going to be 5 at AP -1 or AP -2. So 5 at AP -2. Those doesn't make a difference. Ignore cover. They're not in cover, so that's going to be dead guys. Sniper drones are going to fire on the guys on the bridge here, hitting on 5s. That is 3 hits. Strength 5. So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP nothing, right? So looking for 4-up saves. Make 1. All right, so out of the 2 squads here, 4 of them are going to fire into these guys. 6 of them are going to fire into my Magus. So we'll do the 4 guys into these guys. That is going to be 2 hits. There's 2 wounds. No saves. And then the 6 shots into the Magus over here. All right, 2 hits. That is 1 wound. That is not a save. And now Shadow Sun is going to fire into my Magus. 2 shots. That is 2 hits. Wounded on 2s. That is 2 wounds. AP -4 is going to go straight through. So as long as it doesn't roll double 1. Close, but enough to kill him. All right, so that is it for the Tau turn here. Pretty brutal. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. My Climax moved over here. My Primus moved over here. These guys, I did cult reinforcements, brought them back up to 10, and they moved up over this way. And then my Sanctus stayed still. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so 4 guys with las guns over here are going to start us off by firing into his drone squad back there, the only ones they reach. The other 3 are going to fire into the Riptide. So we're going to go with the drones first, hitting on 4s. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Oh no, 5s, but that's still 2 wounds. So 2 4-up saves. Makes 1, fails 1. Takes the field of pain. And then the 3 into the Riptide. That is going to be 2 hits. Looking for 6s. No wounds. All right, my Sanctus is going to fire into the Riptide over here. Yes, not going to hit. And that is the end of the Genestealer Cult turn here. So I score another point on my turn here, having more units within 9 inches because my opponent doesn't have any, bringing me up to 5 total points at this point. And that is it. So we'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Tau here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Tau here on turn 5. His Riptide over here, supercharged, moved over here. Then his broadsides over here moved up over this way, along with the shield drones to follow along with them. The Pathfinders here, all but the 1 guy, moved up over this way. These guys all just moved, right? They didn't advance. Right. They just moved up. Shadow Sun advanced, as did the Ethereal, and his Riptide here moved up. His other Riptide is dead because he did the Nova Reactor and did the Feel No Pain and missed, and then realized that he only had 1 wound left, so killed him accidentally with that. So he is dead, but he is over here. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, broadside's going to start us off in the shooting phase. Only one of the rail rifles has line of sight onto my dude bros back over there, so he's going to fire those, and then the smart missiles are going to fire into my Primus over here. So we're going to go with the rail rifles first. That is no hits. And then these are going to be hitting on 5s because they moved. Come back to that. Wounded on 3s. That is going to be 7 wounds into me over there. No AP, but ignores cover. So it's going to be 7 5-up saves on my Primus. No, I only make 2 of them, so he is dead. So now the Riptide is going to fire everything into my character over here, into my Clamavis. So we're going to start with the, what do you want to start with? We're going to start with, we'll come back. All right, so we're going to use the burst cannon first into him over here. So 18 shots because he did the Nova reactor.
5s because I moved.
Hitting on 5s because he moved. Come back to you. Strength 6, so wounding on 2s. That is going to be 3 wounds at AP minus 2. Plus 1 because he's in cover over here, so it's going to be 3 at 6-up saves. Make 1 with a filth base. Yeah, it's 2 damage apiece, so he is actually dead. All right, so now Shadow Sun is going to fire because she has assault weapons into these guys, so 2 shots hitting on 3s, getting 1 hit, wounding on a 2. Dead guy. And now the Riptide is going to fire into these guys with the Ion Accelerator. That's a bunch of hits, pretty good there because he was hitting on 5s because he moved. 4 because he's got target lock. So wounding on 2s, strength 9, right? So that's going to be 5, AP minus what?
Strength 8.
Strength 8, AP minus 3, so that's going to be 5 dead guys. And now the Fusion Blasters. That is 1 hit. That is a wound. All right, so now his 2 squads here are going to fire into my dude bros over here. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. All right, these are now looking for 3s to wound. Getting 4 wounds. 4 5-up saves. Making 2 of them. And the sniper drones are going to fire into my Brood Brother there. That is going to be 1 hit. No wound. All right, so that's it for the Tau turn here on turn 5. My guy here is going to run because of he lost 9 of his friends there, so he is out, and that is going to be it for the Tau turn. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 5. My Nexos advanced up onto the objective over here. My Sanctus stayed where he was, and that is it. I've only got the 2 guys left. So that is it for the movement phase. Into the shooting phase, he's just going to take a shot into his Ethereal over here. May as well. So it's going to be hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Wounding on a toughness 3, right? So wounding on a 3. That is a wound. AP minus 1. So what's his armor save? A 5. So his armor save is a 5. Okay, 1 second. All right, so his save is 5, so that's going to be a miss because it's AP minus 1, so D3 damage. Doing 1 damage. And that is going to be it for the Genestealer Cult turn here. But I score another point, which puts me at 6 points, and my opponent has 3 points. We both have Slay the Warlord. We both had First Strike. He controlled it for the first turn, and then I controlled it for the 4 turns since. So at the end of the turn here, we now roll to see if the game goes on. So, on a 3-up it does. It does. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tau. All right, movement phase for the Tau here on turn 6. His Riptide jumped up onto the objective over here, and his Ethereal moved up over there so that he's within 12 inches of my back line there. So that is it for the movement. Everyone else just kind of stayed where they were. So we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so now his Riptide here is going to fire into my Nexos with everything. So we're going to go the Ion Accelerator first, hitting on 4s because he's got the auto tracker. So that's 2 hits, wounding on 2s. That is 1 wound, AP minus 3. So that's just going to go straight through. I don't think he has. 1 second. All right, so it's no save there because it's minus 3, so it's going to be D3 damage. Doing 3 damage. And now the Fusion Blasters. That is 2 hits, wounding on 2s. Yeah, he did. And that is it for the turn because he. So that is it for it. We'll come back to you with the movie I'm not going to move. So Genestealer Cult turn, I'm not going to move. He's going to stay there. And he's just going to fire into his Ethereal down here. So 1 shot, hitting on a 2. That is a hit. Wounding on a 3. That's cocked. I don't know why I did. That is a wound. AP minus 1, so 6-up save. 6-up save. No, it's going to go through. D3 wounds. Come on, baby. You can do this. No, 1 wound. Feel no pain with the 6-up. He's good. So that is the end of turn 6. My opponent scores a point there, so it is going to be 6-4. Now let's roll to see if it goes on to a turn 7. Here we go. Looking for a 4-up. And it does. So on to turn 7. All right, movement phase. He stayed there. She moved up. And then he moved up there within range for an assault, probably, which is really funny for Tau. So here we go. That is going to be it. We're going to come back to the shooting phase. So now the ion cannon is going to fire into him. So D6 shots. It's going to be 2 shots, hitting on 4s. No hits. Shadow Sun's going to fire her fusion blasters. That is 2 hits, because she didn't advance this time. So it's going to be wounding on 2s. That is 2 wounds, AP minus 4, which are they're just going to go straight through. So D6 damage apiece. And he is dead. And that is the, I'm dead. So the Genestealer Cult turn is nothing. So at the end of the at the end of the turn, he scores 1 point for holding this. He also scores a point for line breaker over there, putting my opponent to 6 points. It's a tie. 6 points to 6 points. That game was nuts. It was, it was ridiculous, the kind of firepower and output that these that the Tau have when they had their castle and just like myrtleated all of my guys. But what I did was I played to the objective, and I honestly thought it was lost for a long time until all of a sudden I realized that my guys, because they pressed him so hard early on like that, so at first him not being able to get out of the castle because he didn't know where my guys were because they were just going to come in, made him castle up pretty hard, because they get a lot of their strength from castling. So having the synergies with the ethereal, with the Cadre Fireblade, with Shadow Sun, with not moving and holding down, that's where they get a lot of their strength and power from. So it forced him to kind of stay still so he could try to shoot everything. And then I just kept the pressure on with all of my guys with the assaults and everything, and I held him long enough to get enough points in the middle there to eke out the tie there with getting Warlord and getting the first strike, and then forcing him to just have to swing it at the end there. And we were talking about it. We were going through at the end of turn 5 before we rolled off. He was like, "So what's the score?" And I was like, "It's going to be 6-3." And he was like, "What?" He's like, "So I can't even tie unless it goes to turn 7." I was like, "Nope." So let's see how this goes. So that was a ton of fun. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Dan, and until next time, have fun.